Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. I'm with my friends, Willie Walls and the great Swame. Look, Swame's already dancing up a storm here because we're talking NFC East tonight. Going to break down the teams, going to break down the players, maybe some guys we like. We're taking an early look because I know people have drafts starting in May. People do best ball drafts. So if we can give you some insight on players that we like before the season, that's what we're going to do. Willie Walls, how you doing, my friend?
You're doing good, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Swame, hanging in there?
Doc, hanging in there. We only got a couple more months. Let's batten down.
All right, batten down the hatches. All right, so let's kick it off with the Washington Commanders, Willie. Your favorite team. That's why we did this one first tonight. I'm a little confused, so let's just throw it out there for the Commanders. New quarterback, Carson Wentz. New starting receiver, Jahan Dotson. Logan Thomas coming back from injury. Antonio Gibson not doing what we thought he would do last year. Good, but not sensational. J.D. McKissick threatens to go to Buffalo, but comes back to Washington last second. And then they just draft Brian Robinson from Atlanta, from Alabama, which makes no sense to me. What is going on with your Commanders? Are there any guys you like that you're keying in on right now if you're doing any best ball drafts?
This organization, that's what I got to say about them. This organization, they are disorganized. Dotson, a reach, okay, for where he was drafted. Let me give you another reach. Mr. Mathis from Alabama, reach, another reach. You know, Wentz. Let me give a stat on Wentz. Threw for 6.3 yards per attempt over his final 11 games. Choked out with the best offensive line Indianapolis had. Commanders, great job, Commanders. Now, the best pick in the draft might be Sam Howell in the 5th round. He might end up being the starter by the end of the year. Wouldn't surprise me. Sam Howell could be their best pick of the draft. That's
if you're doing a best ball draft, Willie, are you looking at Antonio Gibson? Are you looking at Terry McLaurin? Do you have any confidence in these guys?
Late in best ball, you know. I mean, to be honest with you, sir, I don't have no confidence in anything that the Commanders do. They're the most disorganized organization ever. That's all I gotta say. And I'm from Washington. What do you want me to say? You want me to lie? Please do not draft any Commander players, guys. Don't do it. I love Terry McLaurin, but guess what? Let me give some information about Mr. McLaurin. He had 62 of his balls was deemed catchable. Lowest in the league, 62%. And now you're going to bring another shaky guy. A shaky guy in Carson Wentz.
So this is a good question, Swami. Will McLaurin be overdrafted in leagues? People are going to take Terry McLaurin in round 3 or 4. Is that a mistake?
No. And first of all, Doc, let's just say it here. Willie's just totally wrong here about the Commanders. They're a better team than what he thinks they are. I think Wentz will give them, at least somebody back there who has had some success, whether Willie agrees with it or not. He's had some success in the NFL. I gave you guys the stats on Mr. Wentz and some of the success that he's had, right? He's been somebody who's had a lot more success than the quarterbacks that they've had in Washington, the Commanders over the last couple of seasons. So that offense has Mr. Gibson. You're bringing in Mr. Dotson. You have Terry.
Excuse me, you call him Mr. when they earn it. He is not Mr. Dotson, sir. Not Mr. Dotson.
Dotson has good hands, by the way. Al White loves Dotson.
He could catch in the crowd, Doc, but where they got him at, it was a reach. That's what I'm saying.
Here's how they determine reach and whose draft was great or not, right? If if Mayock or one of these guys say that you should have went in the 15th or the 17th or first round, and if somebody get you in the third round, you're a great pick. If Mayock and them determine you were a second round and they get you in the first round, you will reach. Let's get away from that foolishness. These guys are doing their best guess to figure it out. You know how you can tell who's a great pick? It's based on the need that you have. If you need a defensive end and you go up and get them, I don't care when you get them, then you had a great pick for your team. You've had a great draft. Just because you take the top 7 people on Mayock's board, you'll be sitting with him if you're a head coach, calling draft picks if you keep that
Okay,
up.
so
You
then
better
what about
draft
your
what you
Ravens?
need.
When you talked about that, and the Ravens had a great
All
draft.
right, I don't want to go on the Ravens. Don't go on the Ravens. Staying on the NFC East. I'm going to say, though, Willie, that you're wrong about Dotson. And
Yes.
here's why. If the Commanders didn't take him there, somebody else would have. That guy was not getting out of the top 20. So it's not a reach when you're taking a guy at 16 who would have gone top 20.
If it fills a need and it's somebody you want, somebody you believe in, you go get him.
Okay, let me ask you a
Robinson.
question. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Who H-O-H-W-H-O, who was throwing him the ball?
No, that's true. I'm not going to deny that. But you can't say that he is not needed. He is needed.
Yes.
Okay.
And don't worry about your who. Now, can I finish?
Okay.
Because
who?
Doc asked the question about Mr. Brian Robinson, right? Guess what? Gibson and I love.
No, I asked about McLaurin.
Oh, McLaurin. I'm sorry. But I thought you mentioned that you wasn't sure why they got Robinson. Robinson's very physical. He's a physical runner. He ran hard at Alabama. I think that it's been some durability kind of concerns with Gibson. And so they wanted to have somebody else in there to be physical. I think McKissick's more of a third down kind of guy. And if they think that he's going to come in and help them out, they weren't great running the ball last year. And they in a division with a couple of teams, we haven't got to them yet, that ran the ball pretty well. One of them led the league last year in yards per game on the ground. They know they have to get better so they can take some of that pressure off of Carson Wentz and that passing offense.
Excuse me. Let's go back to Carson Wentz. Who had the best?
Do we have to?
Who had the best running game? I just want to ask you a question. Who had the best running game in the league last year? What team?
Colts. Best running back, period.
Well, wait. Fact. Carson Wentz stinks. I'm not disagreeing. Nobody's disagreeing with that. He stinks. He stinks.
He is.
But you need to have McLaurin. You need to have Dotson. You have Logan Thomas. You have to have weapons. You just spent money on the wrong quarterback. That's the Commanders for you. But it's not like you don't need Dotson. You need a number 2 receiver.
I can understand, but what I'm saying is because of their disorganization, you will not see the full potential of these players.
Agreed. All right. Let's take a look at the team that Swame was referring to, the Philadelphia Eagles or the Eagles.
Now we talking. Okay. I got something to talk about on this one.
Well, all right, then let's get to it. Now, let me ask you this question, though. Let's preface it with this. I want to hear about Miles Sanders. I want to hear about A.J. Brown. I want to hear about Dallas Goedert. I want to hear about these guys. But let's start out with this question. Is Jalen Hurts a top 7 fantasy quarterback? Willie Walls.
Yes. Yes, he was a top 6 guy last year. And that's without the weapons. Now, listen, you get well, first of all, we could talk. Let's talk about what they did in the first round. Okay, they traded one of their picks and they get one of the best receivers in the league, in AJ Brown, if he can stay healthy. Okay, and this guy, see what makes AJ Brown so impressive is this right here. I looked at AJ Brown and I said, my goodness, he did this 10, 155 and 1, 8, 133 and 1. 11, 145 and 1, 5, 142 and 1 in the playoffs. Okay. This is with Tannehill in a run-based offense with Henry. You follow me? Now, you combine that and you combine Hurts, who averaged 9.2 points a game in rushing, which was the highest in the league. You combine that, I mean, you got Devontae Smith that they already have. And then you get then you get Jordan Davis, the number 13 pick. I mean, who's going to be a monster? You know what I mean? I mean, Philadelphia, yes, and they do have running backs. Now, I don't want none of their running backs, even though they do something as an aggregate, but as individual players, oh, hell no. Hell no. I mean, their top rusher, who was Sanders, ain't have a damn touchdown. You understand what I'm saying? They go to 4 different backs. So they will look impressive rushing the ball, but no, you don't want none of their running backs. You will want their receivers and the quarterback. But yes, Philadelphia is going to be a team of interest, and Jalen Hurts is definitely a man of interest to me.
Swami, is Jalen Hurts a top 6-7 quarterback?
I think so, Doc. I think they got enough to be able to do it, especially with him potentially running in a couple of touchdowns. Last year I was just surprised to see that they were, yards per game, they were number 1 rushing. And then if you give him some more weapons and some talent on the outside, he got a little bit more time to work with those guys. You remember Smith kind of started slow last year. He had to kind of be worked in. And now he's going to have the entire offseason to kind of work with A.J. Brown. I think he's in a good situation. It should be a lot of fantasy goodness in Philly.
Let me ask this bigger question. A.J. Brown is a star. Okay, true. But will they throw the ball enough? Is A.J. Brown really a 3rd or 4th round pick in fantasy anymore? You're doing a draft tonight. Are you taking A.J. Brown in the 3rd round? Are you trusting that Hurts is going to go to him 5, 6, 7, 8 times a game? Do we trust A.J. Brown to be a legitimate number 1 receiver in fantasy football, Willie?
I wouldn't say that. I think it's more, I would be more interested in Hurts instead of A.J. Brown. But, I mean, obviously it's a great choice, but I can't take him that high. No, I can't. Because, between Devontae Smith, and see, that's the thing we got to battle this year. I mean, you got the Rams situation. It's going to be interesting to see how that stuff shakes out. I mean, but A.J. Brown is going to improve the team, and I think it's going to help the quarterback out more.
Okay, so the quarterback goes up, but Swami, does A.J. Brown go down and Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert? Do they all go down?
I don't think they all go down. I think, now that Goedert's kind of got it to himself, he's been competing probably since he's been there for time in that number 1 spot. Now that he's kind of got it by himself, I don't know. I think he'll still be very productive and right there with those top tight ends, especially if he can get into the end zone and the red zone. But I think Smith will have to depend on deep plays and hitting a home run ball. But I think Brown could be the one that you see, with some yak really, getting making the most out of those opportunities that he get. If he gets 3, 4, 5 balls, you see him kind of break one, or he has just a long run or something that kind of give him that value. But week in and week out, it's probably, not going to be number 1 wide receiver fantasy value in Philly. But I do like Ertz.
But let me say this: I think Goddard will be in the conversation. You got to understand when Ertz left last year, and now they got more weapons. He was in 79% of the pass plays where he was going out on routes.
All right.
That's number 2. That's number 2 in the league. Then number 3, you're talking about targets. He was a target over 24.5% of the routes. I mean,
but that was before A.J. Brown's in town.
Yeah, no, not before A.J. Brown. But the point I think is, with those guys opening up everything, I think it's going to open it up for Goddard. It's going to make him better.
I think the guy I'm most worried about is Devonta Smith. I do. I worry about him. Yeah. You've got Goddard, and I agree with you, Willie. You've got a running game. You've got Hurts is not always the most accurate guy, and he's going to feed A.J. Brown. Devonta Smith, to me, feels like a 4 or 5 target a game kind of guy. Maybe he wins you a GPP if you get lucky and he catches, 2 passes for, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, but I don't see it on a week-in, week-out basis, Swami.
No, but he had GPP for sure. He should be somewhere right around 41, 44. He better not be more than that. Not with AJ.
I think he goes to about 5,000.
Then he'll be sitting there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at the Dallas Cowboys, better known as America's team. So, America's team is a bit of a mess. Let me tell you a guy who I promise you this. I promise you there will be no league, and I will be in at least 20 leagues this year. You know that. Ezekiel Elliott will not be on any single one of my teams. That guy looks like he's running in mud. Tony Pollard looks faster than he does on every single play. And the only reason Zeke is out there is they're paying him a boatload of money, and they got to rationalize it because, I mean, look, the eyes don't lie. Pollard is faster, and Pollard makes bigger plays, Willie Walls.
What we want me to say? I mean, the film don't lie, but I will say this. Opportunity for touchdowns, you still got to consider Zeke if I could get him late. You know what I mean? Because he gets the ball at the goal line.
But late's going to be the second round. You're going to have – he's not making it to the third round.
You can't take him. No, I'm talking about – I ain't even talking about the second round. I'm talking about, third, fourth. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about taking him early, but let me say what they did get. They got Tyler Smith, okay? This guy's violent, okay? He's like a Larry Allen type potential. If he gets their hands on you, night. This guy is disruptive, and I like what they got. I mean, Dallas had an okay draft. I mean, Dak is going to regress. I mean, for sure. I mean, he's going to regress.
Keep your eyes on Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert from South Alabama is legit, and he's very similar to Michael Gallup. But the problem is, Swame, Dallas doesn't have receivers. Gallup is hurt. There's no Amari Cooper. Right now, there's no Cedric Wilson, by the way. He went to Miami. You got CeeDee Lamb. You've got Gallup, if healthy. You got Tolbert. And you got Dalton Schultz. Does Dak have enough weapons, Swame?
See, this is how you determine a bad draft, right? They had 10, 11 picks. I think 5 defensive picks. I think 4 offensive picks, but they got 1 wide receiver and 1 tight end out of about 10 picks. That's how you determine a bad draft. I could care less when you got these guys. Move up to get the guys to fill the holes that you have. Their offense, they were number 1 in points last year. Willie Walls, did you know that? They were 9th best against the rush. They were 12-5, 5-3 at home, 7-1 away. This was a good football team. And what you did was, just like I said, what bad football teams do is they let players go. They don't develop new players that start to kind of push guys out. They let good players go. They don't have any way of they had a lot of holes already. They were making some plays, but they weren't really consistent. The running game was there. They were there in most games. And then now Cooper's gone, Wilson's gone, Gallup's injured. And you think, what's going to happen? You talk about he running in mud. Now there's going to be mud with a 9-man front. I just can't see how you plan to get better, how you plan to get over the hump, maybe win another game or 2 and go a little deep in the playoffs when you haven't addressed any of these issues. But I do disagree that Dak isn't going to regress. Dak is the man. Don't talk about Mr. Dak.
Listen, let me refute that what you're saying. Now listen, I think they're going to struggle more. And let me tell you why. CeeDee Lamb, now this is when they had other people. In this last final 7 games, he had 32 balls, 376 yards, and no touchdowns. Now you take away Gallup, Cooper, and Wilson. And I know you got the guy from Alabama, which I agree. He's a great deep ball guy.
South Alabama.
And they brought in James Washington from Pittsburgh. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is they did not alleviate any. I mean, to your point, Swame, they did not alleviate any of the pressure by getting addressing the receiver issue. Right. So that's why I said I think Dak, he might not have the year that you think he might not have. I'm just telling you. You got to have the receivers to open it up for him. And who do they have to open it up?
But the defense, again, you went and got somebody else. The defense, even though they were 18th last year, they still played better than that. The defense was able to – this is the thing when you talk about defense that can win the playoffs. Defenses will pressure the quarterback. They can create turnovers. And in this case, the defense was even able to create some points. They were in good shape, and they needed to fill those holes in offense. They didn't do it.
Let me ask a question. Just a simple yay or nay. Swami, would you rather have Kirk Cousins or Dak Prescott as your fantasy quarterback?
It's not even close, Doc. That's not fair. I'm taking Mr. Dak Prescott.
Willie Walls, you taking Kirk Cousins or Dak Prescott?
I'm taking Kirk.
I am too. Swami, are you taking Dak Prescott or Aaron Rodgers?
This year, that's a tough one. Years before this year, it would have been Mr. Rodgers. No question about it. Because Dak would have had more weapons. It's the same reason I would probably get that slight edge to Kurt having better receivers, but I still like Dak in the way that I think this is a better offense. It's more consistent. They don't have, they're going to depend on Dak more than I think they're going to depend on Kurt.
Willie, you taking Aaron Rodgers or Dak Prescott?
I might be going Aaron.
Really? All right, last one. Kyler Murray or Dak Prescott, Swami?
Oh, that's not close either.
Mr.
Murray. He got
Kyler
too
Murray.
many weapons.
Kyler Murray.
They got too many weapons.
Are you kidding me?
I will say this, though. What you guys are missing, in my opinion, is that Dallas has done a masterful job of drafting offensive linemen. They always have guys up front who are good. When they drafted Travis Frederick, people like, who's that? He turns out to be a great center before he got hurt. I think this kid that they brought in, as you said, Willie, is a violent guy. He's a little raw, but he's good. If you have a good line, and the receivers they have right now, Lamb you put in the slot, Gallup, Washington, and Tolbert are guys who run deep patterns. If Dak has a little time, he might be able to throw a few passes downfield, and this doesn't become like a 20-yard passing attack. This becomes a old Raiders passing attack if Dak can make those 30 or 40-yard passes downfield. I'm not sure he can, but that's where I see this offense going, Willie.
Now, listen. If was a fifth, we're going to see. I listen, but that's why you can't. I mean, you still don't count out Zeke. What I'm saying is, I think Zeke is still fantasy relevant. Everybody's putting, but he gets the ball at the goal line. I mean, I'm just saying.
I like Zeke and I like Dak, and I went on a record here saying it on Friday night.
Okay, I want to see him on. I can't wait to see them both on your team, and I can't wait to play your ass if you get them on your team.
If they fall to me.
All right, last team in the NFC, the New York Football Giants. So look, guys, no, easy there, Swami. Easy. I like the general manager. I love the coach. I like the offensive coordinator. Mike Kafka, do you know where he was the passing game coordinator? For the Chiefs. Worked with Patrick Mahomes. Dable worked with Josh Allen. I think the only problem the Giants have here right now, to be honest with you, their quarterback stinks. Saquon is good, but he's on the wrong team. And the Giants have a lot of receivers, but they have no identity on offense. So let's just ask a simple question, Willie. Are there any Giants that you will draft in fantasy this year? Will you draft Golladay? Will you draft Saquon? Anybody?
Okay, listen. Now, the first one, let me say
Hell
this.
no.
Let me say this. Okay. So what I did like is they got Evan Neal of Alabama, elite athlete. Okay. Now you compare him with Andrew Thomas.
Yep.
You got a nice little combination there. Okay. So they got tackles. So don't poo-poo them yet. Now remember, Barkley returned from an ACL last year. I was looking this up last year. And remember in week 4 when he had 18 touches, 126 yards and 2 TDs. Then he injured his ankle the following week, and then was incapacitated for the rest of the year. So, so what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is this: Barkley might be one of those sleepers that people are not thinking about. I'm serious when I say that, because if the guy is healthy, and that's it, I'll be looking.
If it was a fifth, yeah.
It was a fifth.
I won't take.
If I had wheels, I'd be a wagon.
Yeah, if I had stones, my aunt would be my uncle. Man, please.
Man, look. And let me tell you another guy, Tony. You remember Tony?
He's not going to be on the Giants. He is not going to be on the Giants. They will trade him. Bradbury was cut today, by the way. James Bradbury cut by the Giants.
You think they're going to get rid of Tony?
Tony's going to get rid of himself. He don't want to be there. He's not showing up. He's like a Arrivederci.
Yeah, well.
But if you had his quarterback, you'd be saying Arrivederci too.
Yeah, okay. No argument, man. Hey, Tony, I know you listening.
Yeah.
Ravens.
He would look good in the Ravens, wouldn't he? All right.
I'm
Swami,
not tampering because I'm not with the franchise.
Kenny Galladay used to be good. Can he still be good as a Giant?
I think you're talking Willie. I think Kenny got a little something left. I'm not mad with him. It's just the team isn't very good. They're not playing very well. I get it. I think you think he's going to come in and be able to do something. I just don't think so. I think Saquon is Willie's. He has to be the epitome of a tub guy at this point. He hasn't been able to stay healthy since he's been in the league. He is an ankle, it's a knee, it's a shin, it's something. I'm not sure if I'd rather have Charles Barkley or Gnarls Barkley.
Okay, hold on a second. David Montgomery or Saquon Barkley? Who are you drafting, Willie?
You said David. I'm drafting Saquon. I am.
Swami, Saquon or David Montgomery?
Montgomery, for sure.
Josh Jacobs or Saquon Barkley, Willie?
Josh.
Swami?
I think I'm going to go Josh. Oh, my
really?
gosh, I can't believe it.
Josh
man.
can't catch.
I can't believe it. I mean, he can't stay healthy. People were sitting him down. He was a healthy player.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's gonna be my. I'm telling you, Barkley is gonna be. Listen, I'm gonna take. To me, I'm gonna take a shot at a guy like that. That's upside.
What round?
Barkley?
Yeah. You talking about the side of your neck? Look at him. What round?
3?
He may not be there in 3.
That's why he said 3, because he know he ain't gonna be there. Come on, man.
No, 3 or late 2.
What's that?
Right, so he would be there late 2, right? So would you take? Let me ask you this: Zeke and Barkley are on the board. Willie Walls, who are you taking?
Barkley.
I'm going with the better team and a better offense. The one that's going to score points. The one that was number one.
And he might be splitting with Pollard
on the goal line.
He might be splitting with Pollard. What I'm saying is Barkley is going to get it all.
All of what?
Hey, listen. I think with the offense, I think you understand on the offensive line. They have worked on the offensive line this year, and I think with those 2 big boys they got in there, I think they can make some. I'm just telling you, Barkley. Listen, Barkley is kind of like, now he's not Barry Sanders, but what I'm saying is, you give him a little slither, he could take it to the house. Still take it to the house.
Doc, they were the 2nd worst points per game in the league, 9th worst rushing offense in the league, 4-13. And suddenly I'm going to take him over. Come on.
I'm going to give you guys a visionary play here.
Terrible.
I think Tyrod Taylor starts at least 5 games at quarterback for the Giants.
He starts everywhere he goes. And then he's going to be in the tub next to Shake.
I think he's better than Daniel Jones right now. I think he's better than Daniel Jones.
No, I mean, him and Barkley are going to be in the tub reading the newspaper. Hey, man, how's your ankle? Hey, man, how's your knee? Hey, pass me a beer. They're going to be staying not going to be on the field.
Listen. Listen. Only thing I'm saying is this. I want everybody to feel that way about Barkley, because if Barkley is an upside guy, take him. And you don't win without taking a shot.
Yeah. You would take Barkley in a best ball, but maybe not in a regular league. Agreed?
Right. No. If he's available late in the 2nd round, yes, I will take a shot.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this question.
Not 1st round, no.
Who is winning the NFC East, Willie Walls?
Philadelphia. The Eagles.
Swami?
I'm going to still have to give that edge to the Cowboys. I feel like I like how the defense played last year.
But they lost. Listen, Philadelphia addressed the defense. They got a monster. They got going at first. This guy tears stuff up. He can single-handedly change that game on a run game, and they're going to be able to devote more resources to their second. I'm telling you, this monster they
This
got.
is the NFL. Ain't no one.
Let me tell you something. That guy that they got is disruptive. You'll see.
He's good. I believe.
He's good.
I saw the tape. I don't disagree. He's not good. I just know it's the NFL, and it's not. And there's a bunch of dominant guys, and he's no more dominant than Aaron Donald. And no, you can't. Yeah, but he's not just going to win your chip.
That's the type of talent you got with this guy.
He's good. It's not denying that he's not good. At the Cowboys, they played together. They got a couple of more years. These guys are coming back. They play really well. I'm more concerned with their offense than the defense. And Philly right now, they just got to do a little bit better. They were 6th worst. They have 22 points per game. No, Philly. I'm sorry. Philly defense they were 10th, so their defense was pretty good. The issue with Philly, I think, was turnovers and the fact that they couldn't get stops when they needed them. They were giving up way too many points. They gave up 22.
They have improved. I'm telling you, this team is going to be.
They got to put it on the field. The draft is just one part of it.
Can I tell you the biggest problem with the Eagles? I don't like their head coach. I don't think Nick Sirianni is great. I don't. I'd say this. I don't think Mike McCarthy's any good.
I'm going to say,
what's the good. I don't think Ron Rivera is good. I will argue that Brian Dable as a rookie might be the best coach in that division.
I got no argument. I yield.
You talking about McCarthy's going to get fired? McCarthy gets fired this year.
You talking about the guy for the Giants, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I think I like Barkley, because I think they're going to have some law and order.
I think 3 of these guys might get fired, and Barkley might be one of them.
Well, Barkley could get traded next, and he could be gone.
He's not even head coach.
Yeah,
you got to stay healthy. You can't. That's.
I understand, but I think this will be. I think he's going to have one of those years. I won't draft the following year where he might have those years that it's unscathed.
All right, so Willie, your upside guy in the NFC East is Saquon Barkley.
I think so. Yes, absolutely.
Swame, who's your upside guy in the NFC East?
Now, does it count if I say CeeDee Lamb?
No, you can say it.
Because I'm thinking it could be CeeDee Lamb, but if you're saying the guy that's really going to probably take the division by storm, more of a dark horse, I'm going to say Carson Wentz. I said it. Don't look so stunned. I said it,
man. Sir.
I said it.
Hey, is that Hennessy behind you? What you got? Is that Hennessy? What's behind
Don't
you?
Don't worry about what's in my.
You got some Jack. It's some Jack in that thing. You must be sipping on some Jack.
He's out in the desert, Willie. He's delusional. He's delusional.
What's in his canteen? What's wrong with you?
I will give you Tony Pollard, and I will give you the man that Willie Walls despises more than anybody.
Who's that?
Jahan Dotson.
I tell you,
is that a sleeper though, Doc? Like, what was it with Barkley, who was just pure milk? Like, come on, Doc, go a little deeper than that.
Deeper than Dotson?
No.
Dotson's a rookie.
If Dotson could do that, listen. Of course, I would love the Commanders to have something there. I just don't listen.
Look, Carson Wentz goes to one receiver. He will go to one guy. So he's either going to go to McLaurin or he's going to go to Dotson. And my contention is McLaurin is going to see Trayvon Diggs. He's going to see Darius Slay. And Carson Wentz is going to go, no, I'm going to go the other way. And all of a sudden, McLaurin is not going to be worth that 3rd-round pick. I'm not taking him in any draft this year, guaranteed. Zeke and McLaurin will not be on any visionary team. Bold.
Listen,
I like it, Doc.
I know I'm not drafting the Redskins Commanders receiver. I know that. I won't.
I'd be interested in Dots. I think sometimes, what I saw, just that ability to get open, to run after catch. I kind of like what I saw.
Only dropped 2 balls last year.
Yeah, listen, I like that. He has some nasty catch. He has some Odell. His
biggest advantage is that yes, he does catch in the crowd. Yes, but see, this is why I don't like him.
What?
Mr. Wentz don't throw in the crowd.
Right, that's true too. That's true too.
You understand? You got somebody.
Old Mr. Wentz.
No.
This is the
he
new
does
Mr.
not
Wentz.
listen. Doc, am I right or wrong?
No, Wentz doesn't throw in a crowd.
He doesn't.
That's why I love. He's a great route runner. He won't have to.
He is a great route runner. Dotson is a supreme. He is a Manuel Sanders level route runner. That's his level.
Okay, it's level until he got to the NFL, and so you see some other. I'm just telling you, what I'm telling you.
The Commanders weren't that bad the last 2 seasons. You're just hard on your team.
Now, yes, I am, because they the dumbest. They like Jaron Jackson of Memphis. You can't teach dum-dums. You cannot teach dum-dums.
I think some of the teams in the East, NFC East, did a better job at getting guys that filled holes than others. And I think that's what determines you having a great draft or not. It's not this crap about where they feel like somebody was ranked. Because if you got Patrick Mahomes.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
If anything, listen, we don't know how this crap going to go. I mean, because like the Jets, for example, they said they're going to have the ones, but listen, until they get on the field, that's when you believe it. When you saw training camps, you're going to see some guys that we wasn't even on our board.
Look, we're just talking. We're talking early in the season. People are drafting in May. We're discussing it, but I'll tell you what, Willie. Let's discuss the AFC East next time we meet on Friday Night Lights. Deal?
Deal. Now we're talking.
He's so eager to talk about another division.
Yes, I am.
Calm down.
Because the one we just talked, I got boo-boo all on me. I got to get this off of me. I'm not smelling good right now.
All right. Willie's going to shower. We're going to get out of here. What do we say? Be well and
take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. Until the next visit, be well and take care.